Γεια σας φίλες και φίλοι. Καλώς ήρθατε στη συνεντεύξεις του Ερευνητικού Οργανισμού Ελλήνων. Σήμερα έρχεται στην παρέα μας μέσω Skype απευθείας από το Λος Άντζελες ο σκηνοθέτης του Ντοκιμαντερ «Υεμενη, ο Σιωπηλος Πολεμος». Πάμε λοιπόν να γνωρίσουμε καλύτερα τον Sufian Abulohom.
اسم البنت ليبيا في الولادة أمس. لا على ما وضعت في
راحوا من أبناء جلدتي من أبناء بلدي.
Hello Sufian, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Very well, thank you. It's time to get to know you better.
Okay.
You grew up in Sana'a, Yemen until the age of 15. Would you like to share with us your life conditions at that time?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually born in Syria when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
My family were, my mom's family were living there, so she had me and my older sister there. But we went directly back to Yemen. I grew up in Yemen until I was in 9th grade. Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to, I lived in a privileged household, so I was lucky enough to go to an American school and learn English, and life was really good. I mean, yes, the country was in a poor condition where a lot of people had hard times finding jobs and making a living, but it was relatively very safe. It was very safe for Yemeni citizens specifically, and even for tourists, you could argue, yes, there might have been some controversy some areas where some things happened, but other than that, it was relatively a safe place to be. At least I felt safe to be in there, and yeah, I mean, I had my friends. We used to play like in the streets and go out, and it was yeah, it was home.
So why did you decide to leave Yemen and go to the United States?
I mean, my situation is very different than usual. So, my family lived in the United States a long time ago. My younger sister, who is 3 years younger than me, was born in the U.S. And then we went back to Yemen. We used to go to my family used to go to the United States a lot. But after 9/11 happened, the treatment of Muslims in the United States have changed. So from then until 2010, we decided not to, at least that was my mom's perspective at the time, to not go. Even though we had an apartment there in Virginia, we had family there, but it was just a general idea that Muslims in the United States were not treated well after what happened, so it was a decision not to go. My father at the time got really, really sick, so we came to the United States for treatment, and it was supposed to be a 2-month visit, which ended up to me going to school, and then us staying there for a year, and the year turned into 2. Then the revolution happened, and we kind of got stuck in the United States.
You couldn't come back.
And it wasn't really the best time to go back. And then after that, things kind of started getting worse and worse and worse, and you could see that the country is going down to an unstable path. And we had an apartment there, and we went to school there, so it was a family decision to stay in the United States. Yeah, and then we went back to visit in 2013, and that was before the Houthi rebels took over the capital. So we would still go back once a year. I think after the war started, it's now very minimal that we go back. My mom just went back for a visit this month. But for me as a guy, it's not the safest route to go. But yeah.
Okay, so you went to school in the United States, right?
Yes, I went to high school in Yemen until the age of until 9th grade, 10th grade, and then went to high school in the U.S., college, and now I'm doing my master's also.
You've recently graduated from American University in Washington, and you have already worked with Ostenheim Productions and Al Jazeera. Would you like to tell us more about your experience there?
Yeah, I mean, American University is a place. My father graduated there. A lot of my cousins and family members graduated there, and near where I live. And it's in DC, so it's very documentary centered. I went in actually to do fiction film. That's more my career goals, at least at the time. But then, because you're in the capital, you see a lot of things happening. You end up doing documentaries. So I had a lot of cool opportunities to do small things. But it was when I graduated that I was going to go back to Yemen to make the documentary. And that was Dimorgo. My mom really, really didn't want me to. So she gave me this offer where she would pay for my travels and the documentary cost if I decide to go to Djibouti, the refugee camp instead of going to actually Yemen. And you know, instead of me collecting the money or like fundraising, it was just an easier choice. And I thought it will be interesting to film a documentary from the refugee perspective versus going back home. And I've heard so many stories about the refugee camp that I really wanted to go and see how people live and how Yemenis were treated in another country that is not theirs.
Did you face any difficulties during the documentary production?
I did. So I contacted UNHCR, which is the entity responsible for refugees in Djibouti. It's two companies. It's UNHCR and UNRWA. So they asked me to get approval from the Ministry of Communication. I did so before coming to Djibouti. Sometimes I'm worried about saying this story, but it's fine. So I got all my papers, my documents, everything else, and I went on a plane to Djibouti. And when I got to the airport, they asked me, "Oh, why are you here?" And I said, "The journalist." I'm showing them my papers, my IDs, and they just wouldn't let me in. So they take me to the side and like locked me in a place. I asked them, "Hey, can I call my embassy? Can I call my family? Can I call anyone?" And no one said no. Like no one is responding. And I speak Arabic, and Djibouti they understand Arabic, and they're choosing to ignore on purpose. And I was like, wow, are they trying to silence journalists? Is that what's happening? And you know, hours later, I realized that it was all about money. So someone at the ministry is not responding. So what they did was, I was lucky enough to, I asked someone to get the use of the internet, which is not the best ethical way, but you know, you're in situations where you have to do what you have to do. You know. So I gave someone money, and then he took me to this like a place where I could log into an internet access, and then I called family, and my family knew some people, and someone came and tried to help me, and we realized at the end of the day it was someone higher up at the ministry did not want me to go in, not because they don't want me to tell my story, but because they wanted to charge me fees to get in. So I had to go to the ministry. They took away all my equipment. They locked it at airports until I paid specific fees. And then I go to the office, and all the fees are in dollars. And you know what? If you're in a ministry of a country asking for fees, you would charge it with their currency, but it wasn't the case. And when I asked for a receipt, he said, "Oh, we don't do receipts." So yeah, I mean, they charged me like about $200 of like fees here and there, and they let me go.
So Djibouti isn't a safe country either, right?
Djibouti is a safe country, yes. But you know what? Corruption in terms of charging journalists or people coming from the United States, fees is kind of built in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's in a lot of third world countries, sadly.
Mm-hmm. What are we about to see in the documentary? Please give us some clues.
A summary of the documentary.
Yes, please.
So the idea of this was, I went on my own. It was just me, my camera, my laptop. I did sound editing, cinematography, like everything on my own. So it wasn't necessarily the most planned out doc. And we did use animation to make it, to bring life to it, because it was very sad. The camp was dead. The weather was so bad that people are leaving the camps to go to the capital and find a place to crash until the heat is over. So I guess in one sentence, if I had to describe my doc, it's an informative documentary that shows the human perspective from living in the Markazi refugee camp.
قدرنا بالساون حقنا يا نجري خايفين من الطيران اللي هيضرب بيننا.
Did you see something memorable in the refugee camp that is not included in the documentary? So you can tell us your story.
Yes, so the day I arrived, I mean, it wasn't partly in the doc, but you barely notice it. So a kid passed away. It was the day that I arrived, and the same day a kid was born. So when I was on my way to the camp, my driver was driving me, and this girl was giving birth, and then we picked them up, we take them to the hospital, and that was just the first day, and I bet them to let me. I mean, it's sad because when you're holding your camera, all you want to do is just film, and sometimes you have to be a human and just let people live their lives. You know what I mean? And finding that balance is very important in making documentaries. And I think it's healthy to sometimes, you know what, that's speak on camera, but if people, someone is giving birth, the first thing that you should do is just help someone get through their life. So, I thought it was not the best to be persistent or be hey, please let me go. So it just happened, and then she ended up in the doc. She's the mother holding the child. I don't know if you remember. But so a child died, and a child was born, and it was very emotional. And the mom was giving birth, and I just for a moment I was it's my first day. You can't just come in with a camera and force on people's faces. So I had to not film it, and it didn't end up in the doc. But you see the mother in there.
Mm-hmm. Your trip was full of adventure.
Oh, I mean, I guess. It was, sometimes it's good to travel on your own. So I said this before leaving. My professor was I had a professor who was helping me make this doc, and he said, you don't have a plan. You don't have a real budget. You don't have people helping you. And then I was honestly traveling on my own. And then, it's like my people, So it's not I'm not an American journalist going in with no idea of what's happening. I'm very aware of the situation. I'm very aware of where the people are, and I can speak the language. So for me, it was just, you know what, if it ends up a trip with me just seeing people and traveling on my own, then I'll take that.
What is your message to the world through your work?
I think Yemen currently is the worst humanitarian crisis in the world, and I don't think a lot of people know what Yemen is, to be honest. We're facing the biggest cholera outbreak in modern history, and it's a man-made war. It's a war that no one understands fully. I mean, as Yemenis, we understand the essence of it, but I think an outside perspective just doesn't understand what's going on. It's very complex, and solving it is objectively very easy. It just there's no media coverage, and a big part of that is the Saudi Arabia media block that is happening, and the rebels inside the country also have their own media block. It's two sides that both are controlling the media and are essentially blocking what's happening in Yemen. It's two huge problems. It's an outside problem in airstrikes and an inside problem in the rebels. And there really are no sides. And everybody's wrong. Everybody's guilty in this war. So it's hard for Yemeni citizens to decide on who to back. Because for us, both parties are very, very guilty.
Yemen is a developing country, but still one of the poorest in the Middle East. Do you believe this is happening due to lack of resources, chances, or political reasons?
I think, Yemen is in a very unique position. If you look at Yemen in the map, it's a very strategical place. If you want to go to the ports of the Middle East, you have to pass through Yemen. Yemen has a lot of historical places. I know there's a big controversy about an island in Yemen called Socotra, and there's questions about the UAE, not Saudi Arabia, the UAE's involvement in the war in Yemen, and how they're focusing on turning that island into a resort. And you have politicians from the UAE going to the island saying that you are citizens of the UAE and trying to erase history and I guess take it over. So I think there are a lot of voices in Yemen, and Yemen doesn't have the strongest foundation, and it's very tribal. It's very there's a lack of education, and it's a combination of everything. And I think that a lot of people benefit from that. So I don't think they are. I think they think they are. I think for neighboring countries, I think we all grow together. But I think that's not what's happening, or that's not necessarily some people's view on it, I guess.
So how are Yemen's relations with the neighboring countries?
Well, I guess it depends on who you ask. To sum up the war in Yemen, which is impossible to sum up, there are a group of rebels that took over the capital. And the government ran away to Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia started a war against Yemen. So if you're a person who supports the rebels, you would look at the neighboring countries as enemies. If you're someone who supports the old government, it depends on who you are, I guess. I mean, I support the old government, but I still hold neighboring countries like Saudi Arabia, the United States, UAE, and all those countries accountable. What's happening in Yemen is just unspeakable. They're committing humanitarian crimes. They're striking funerals. They're striking hospitals. People are dying, and no matter what side you're on, sometimes you have to look at it as it's a war crime. And I think our relationship with our neighboring countries will take years to heal, because what happened is when the war started, when the airstrike from Saudi Arabia started, it pushed a lot of Yemenis to the Houthis, which is the rebels. No one really likes these rebels. The rebels are a minority. But when you have someone airstriking you, you have no choice. When you're in that position to support the person who's fighting them back.
أنا المستقبل حقنا كان في اليمن، لكن هنا ما فيش معنا مستقبل.
Yemen has great history from ancient times. Do you believe that history, along with cultural and natural specific features, could attract the interest of other people and countries and offer Yemen a better future?
Of course, no question. I mean, the island itself is just, these are things that are not shown in the media, but when you have politicians going to a Yemeni island, telling the people that you are citizens of the UAE, that shows, it's a big interest. It makes Yemenis worried. Look at the borders. There are cities that are under Saudi Arabia's control because of treaties and land, frankly, being sold to them. So it's like Jeddah and other places. There are interests, and it's history, it's locations, it's a combination of things, and yeah, I mean, it is a target.
Would you like to give a message to the Yemeni people?
It's tough because, you know, I mean, it's easy to say, to give a hopeful message when you're from the outside. But, you know, every time I do that, my friends living in Yemen, saying that I'm delusional. Like, everybody says there's no hope. And I'd like to believe there is, but it comes from a place of privilege. Well, I'm sitting from the outside looking in and giving a hopeful message. But in reality, a lot of people have lost that in the country, and I would just say stay strong, and we're hoping for the best, but we'll see.
تجري مش داري وين تجري. ناس تروح ذا القم والناس تروح القم خايفين من الصواريخ والشطايط فوق رؤوسنا الحمد لله سلام.
How could the European countries help your country?
I guess, I mean, there are a lot of places where after the humanitarian crisis happened, a lot of people left. And a lot of countries have been welcoming, and that's amazing. But at the same time, we have to look at who do we support. And if our intention is to support the Yemeni people, the actually Yemeni citizens, we would not be selling weapons to Saudi Arabia. We would not be backing Iran. And I think countries kind of tend to take position. I mean, look at the United States, the UK. Both of these countries are the number one weapons sellers to Saudi Arabia. And I think they have to take a closer look at who they're supporting. Because if the intention is to support the Yemeni people, I think an educational campaign, and I think there are other ways to do that.
Back to you now. You've been awarded in the United States for your film and music productions. What does this mean to you?
I mean, it's you know, as a filmmaker, all you do is you put your heart and soul to your work, and you hope for the best. And the reception has been amazing. I'm grateful for that. But you know, sometimes you have to think that, why am I doing this? You know, you can get caught up in all those things, and you know, going to film festivals, getting the awards and things like that. But at the end of the day, I did this for my people, and that's why I posted my documentary online. And I was like, you know, and it disqualified me from film festivals. And I get it. And you know, with other films, I would never do that. But this one was just, I did this for my people and for people to see it. And the best way to do it is, whoever wants to screen it or show it, you're welcome to. You have all my right to do so, because this one specifically is about awareness, I think.
Could you like to thank someone for your career?
There are so many people that I did film in undergrad, and I went abroad in the Czech Republic and did film there, and now I'm in LA and I'm doing film again. And I go to USC now, which is one of the best film schools in the world, and the faculty there have been so supportive since I've got there. So it's really, really hard. I think my mom is the person that supports me the most. You know, being Yemeni and saying that you want to do film is something that is very scary for parents, because there's no one out there. Yemen has had one nomination to the Oscars ever. One, and it was for a short dog by Sarah Assad, who is a very, very nice person, and she's supportive for everyone. But it's not due to the lack of ideas, it's the lack of potential in that. So I think it was hard for Yemenis to find someone to look up to in the industry, and I think my mom has been very supportive in terms of allowing me to do what I want to do for this mom.
You're getting your MFA in film production at the University of Southern California. Would you like to tell us more about your future plans?
Yes. So I'm making a short film about a Yemeni refugee leaving Yemen, going to Djibouti. So it's the journey on the car from leaving your house to arriving to the safe place. And I'm telling you from this is a fictional film. So this is with actors, and it's a short film, and it's from the point of view of a young woman who lives in an old male-dominated household. So it's her brothers, her dad, and she just wants to sit next to the window. And her dad doesn't let her sit by the window. And she ends up saving the day by driving the car. So it's the idea that this young person who no one takes seriously stays up in the family. That's what I'm doing. I'm preparing for that now. But right now I'm producing a documentary, and it's about it's called the George Tindall case, and it's about a gynecologist at USC who has been sexually assaulting women who came to his office for 30 years. This is a school gynecologist who has been going on for 30 years, and we were lucky to interview women from 30 years ago to women today. And the problem with that case is not what happened, it's what the university did, and the lack of what the university did to prevent this. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm producing it. My dear friend Michelle is directing it, and she's been doing amazing. And it's interesting sometimes to step away from directing and focus on other positions, like producing, where you support someone 100% because you want to give someone the support that someone else can give you. And it's a really, really great. It's just amazing. And I'm excited. It's almost done, so I'm excited to see how this one turns out.
I can see how excited you are.
Yeah, very excited.
Sufian,
wonderful.
Thank you very much for this conversation.
Of course.
I wish you good luck in whatever you do.
Thank you so much for having me. I've talked a lot. It's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Σας ευχαριστούμε πολύ που ήσασταν μαζί μας και σήμερα. Ανανεώνουμε το ραντεβού μας για την επόμενη εβδομάδα. Μέχρι τότε μένετε συντονισμένοι στο ΕΟΕ Channel.